cause the boys are on. 3 days deep, no sleep, yeah, I'm in my zone. This is all up in my business, blowing up my phone. But we still going.
G'day.
G'day, buddy.
We're back.
Happy Friday.
What are we? Episode what? 6.
6. Yeah.
Big 6.
I
That many.
6. This many.
All right. How's audio your end, guys?
You got me good here?
We're good. G'day.
This makes me sound good too.
Oh, and we were only talking about that today. How good it comes through on Spotify. Like it's crystal clear. It looks like sounds so good. Even
You
the,
have to say it sounds sweet as. Go on.
Sweet ass.
Yeah, look at that.
Sweet as.
Sensual voice in there.
Man, I always wanted to be on radio, eh?
You got a face for TV, bro.
Mate.
I got a head for radio, eh?
Yeah, you
Welcome
do.
to Bod Pod.
Not live radio. Pre-recorded, no cameras.
Yeah, well, anyway, we're back, episode 6 on the couch.
Yeah.
And we got Dan.
Tell me a little bit about your friend.
Dan from Locker Room Barbershop, a local lad who has one of the best barbershops in Canberra.
Thank you, bro.
Mate, welcome.
Thank you, man. Thanks
been
for having me
happening?
on, man. Stoked
Mate,
to be here.
anytime. It's been a few weeks, like we've sort of been up and down. Oh, we'll get you in here, we'll get you in there, but finally got you on.
Yeah.
So it's been a
I know
hectic-
I've been excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
He's said a
talking
lot
it up.
about you and
Yep.
yeah.
I've been talking it up for like the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's one of these things,
It's like
bro.
a little man crush, I reckon, the way he was talking about you. Yeah.
And just like I was explaining to Jace what you do for obviously other lads and, you know, through the barbershop and the Brave, like the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so, mate, tell us. What's been happening?
Man. Well, obviously, it starts off with the barbershop.
Yep.
Many years ago.
When did that kick off for you? Because I understand you were Gold Coast,
Yeah.
God's Country.
Yeah, Brizzy.
Yep.
The Brizzy Sunshine Coast region. And like everyone in life, we run into a bit of struggle.
Yep.
You know, slowed me down, hit a few speed bumps.
Yep.
And speed bumps got bigger and bigger and discovered I was on my own.
Yeah, true.
And going through school and stuff, I was going to be the person that didn't happen to me. That
Yep.
stuff wouldn't happen to me, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Played sports and kept in different roles. And it's like the school jock guy doesn't get affected the same way as anyone else.
Yep.
You know, if you in your school year, I was the person that was, okay, you're going to do it right.
Yep.
You know. And speed bumps got so big, got paralyzed.
Yep.
You got fight or flight
Yeah.
response systems, and I was in the freeze
Yep.
state. And I realized, shit, where do I go?
Yep.
How do I get out of this?
Yep.
So had a lot of pride, had a lot of shame around getting stuck in this mental space of not knowing how to get out.
Yep.
And man, almost became homeless. So I started.
And that was in Queensland?
This was in Queensland.
Yep.
I was cutting hair, and slowly I started calling in sick more and more and more.
Yep. And you're at a barbershop.
I was working at a barbershop. I was
Yep.
managing a shop in Queensland. And then I was also renting an apartment, like in a house share situation. And
Yep.
once I'd come out of a separation, and I thought, shit, if I don't go to work today, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. But the shame was so high that obviously you got family and friends you can go and stay with.
Yes.
Family, my
But
grandmother.
you don't
my
want to
mum.
have to do that. That's the
Well,
hardest
no, I
thing,
had
you know.
so much shame around it. I
There
was
is.
willing to live in the car instead.
Yep.
And so when I was going through my own, I started looking online and shit, how do I get out of this? How am I going to get out of this situation that I found myself in?
Yep.
Looked on internet sites, and they had all the government sites that were out there, but they didn't speak to me.
Yep.
And a lot of them felt clinical, and I was like, shit, this is not really helping me.
Yeah.
And so once I was grateful I navigated that path
Yep.
out, and the thoughts got dark, and I thought to myself, I can't do this to myself, knowing my mother, how she'd feel, how my grandma would feel.
Yep. Yep.
So I was like, I'm going to take this responsibility I got to solve this on my own. Had known who I could talk to, who I felt could, because of the shame component, that they could hold space for me. And then I navigated my way out through diving into every single background you could think of. Bro, you think of it, I did it.
Yep.
I went to Buddhism classes.
Yeah,
I
right.
went to meditation classes, threw myself in any environment I could find where I looked online where people looked like they were doing healing work or
Yep.
anything that was
Positivity.
opposite than what I'd known.
Yep.
And that was a hard case one when I found myself in the introduction to Buddhism process. I was just desperate for anything. Give me anything. And those guys looked like they were peaceful.
But you were looking for the signs, bro. You know, you were looking for
I was looking for
ways to naturally heal, I suppose, and
100%.
you know,
100%.
and follow it through. Because Buddhism, that's not something I've ever. It's even crossed
Considered.
my mind. Or considered.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah. So I was, really, really grateful. Found my way out.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, at this stage, I'd removed myself from barbering. And I went overseas and lived in Bali for a while. And I thought to myself, if I ever get back into barbering, I'm going to open up my own shop. It has to be on my own terms.
Yep.
And I always knew that I wanted to be dedicated to mental health.
Yep.
And so when I came back, COVID brought me back to Canberra. And I thought to myself, open up this shop and it's going to be dedicated to mental health.
Yep.
So I've called it the locker room.
Yep.
Locker room is a bit like this. It's
That's
free thinking, free
exactly.
speech.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sovereign people were just
It's a
without
safe
agenda.
space.
Yeah, it's a safe
It's a
space.
safe space, and that's like I've been to your
Yes.
shop, and it's a vibe. You just walk in, and I think your positivity really shows through what you do.
Thank you,
And you walk in the door, and you just feel like so at ease. So you're cutting some pretty high profile footy players as well, which is I've seen, which is good. And it's just it's a space where essentially you feel comfortable. You're not judged. It just feels like a really nice spot, bro.
Thank you, man.
Resonates to me what you just said then. Like on one of our previous episodes, I spoke about when I was diagnosed with PTSD and what led up to it, and exactly what you're saying there. There was a space where the original me was lost, and the original me was over here, and I had this new me that I was trying to get, and I was like, I don't like this. This is not where I planned to be. This is. You know, I'm a bit of a clown. I've said that on past episodes. I smile. I love having a laugh, taking the piss, you know. And we were worlds apart. And my brain was just knotting up, and I just couldn't get it back together. And it felt like the more I tried, you know, to do, like you said, go down the conventional ways, ring Lifeline, ring those, it just kind of was not my fit. You know, it didn't work for me, you know. So it come down to digging down deep yourself and, you know, going back to your grassroots of who you are and what made you there, and slowly start closing this to get back to where I'm back today. So that resonated to me what you were saying. So yeah.
Well done, bro, as well.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't think we kind of guys fist pump that stuff enough though.
No,
you
you're
know,
right.
it's like,
100%,
bro,
bro.
you got out of that.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
we need to celebrate that.
Yep.
It's almost
Exactly.
like I got out of that. Okay, let's keep that hush. And just be like, oh, you did well done. But it's like, bro, we need to celebrate more guys, because a lot of people are going out of it, are coming out or still going through it.
Yep.
And they need to know, like, it's a big deal.
And that's what I love about what you do, bro, is you do celebrate that. And I myself, I've been there. I've had some pretty shit times, but talking about it is bloody hard, and actually not feeling like you are going to be judged because of how you feel or how you acted or whatever happens. Like, I think our biggest thing is judgment, is being judged for those things. I myself in the past, I feel shame, essentially. I went through a bit of shit back home in Queensland and ended up living with some really close friends for a while, and not coming from owning a house and doing all that sort of thing to living with friends or sleeping on someone's lounge room floor. Fuck, bro, it's hard. It's the hardest thing. And then getting up in the morning and packing that mattress up and folding your bedding up and then heading to work and coming home and doing it all over again. Like, I think the fact that having good friends that allow you to do that is a big thing, and that helps you through things, like through those times. But having to do that and then actually, like, no, I've never spoken about it before. So being able to talk about it in a safe space, essentially, even though we're live, but being able to talk about those things and you know, show people from where you've come from and how low you have been as well. But at the end of the day, I got through it and I was thinking, it's not about how low you were, it's how you come back from what you're going through, and having that support network in the first place is another big thing.
Massive.
You know, having that support, having friends that go, look, bro, you're in with us, you know, in between, or, you know, you've had a relationship breakup or whatever it may be, or jobs or whatever. So, like, I've always had a job. I've always worked my ass off. But, you know, whether it be between relationships or anything in the past, you just, you know, it's hard to feel grounded, especially in someone else's house, like coming from your own to being like nearly living in a car and then bouncing back and fucking owning it. You know,
you would say now, but like nobody can go through this journey of life without getting some scars on them.
Oh,
you know?
100%.
And then when you do this type of stuff, you know, now we're going on Spotify and stuff like that, we're in people's ears now driving to work, you know, might have been a tough night, might have, you know, kicked the dog or whatever, you know, like what we want to create is like this, you know, with guests like you coming on and speaking real, you know, all these other
real
podcasts
talk.
can get people on, oh, yeah, I drive a Lambo, you know, we do this, we do that, we're living a lovely life. No, hang on.
like we celebrate
What
that
happens at
success.
night?
You know, it's all good, and we're all for people succeeding. But essentially, at the end of the day, those people show little bits on Instagram of how good their life is. You know, we've got a Lambo, we've got this, we've got that, but people don't see the bullshit that goes into it and the hard times, the dark times,
We wanna
any
see
of
that
that. Well,
drive.
you don't
Yeah.
show it.
We
You
wanna
don't
see
put it
what
out
got
there for
them there.
people to see.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what this is about. Essentially, we love digging into those roots essentially, and just seeing where people come from, seeing people's journey. And I think that's real talk. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I don't care what you drive. My motto was always, you never look down on someone unless you're helping them up. I've been
What
there.
I say, my dad's conversation was, we all sit down to shit.
Yeah,
That's it.
100%. Like
and
we're
helping
all
them up
human.
without expectation,
Yep.
Yeah.
without asking for something in the way back.
100%,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, pay forward, because that's the good thing. That's the gift you'll get out of it. Paying forward and seeing somebody achieve when
Yep.
they were struggling. You
Yep.
know, like in whatever way, whether it's financially, whether it's, you know, whatever. It's if you can pay forward, that's good. You know, it's worth more than any money, I think.
It's
Yeah.
what it's about. And I think, you know, there's a lot of people that are out there today that do pay it forward, but essentially they have to film it and put it all over the Instagram and all that sort of thing. And look, I don't believe that's paying it forward.
No,
I believe
no.
that's paying it into marketing. Look at me, I can do this, I can do that. But the biggest, the best gesture, the best kindest sort of thing that you could ever do is do something without recognition, without anyone knowing
in
you've
the
done
quiet. Yeah,
We've actually got guys that come through the barbershop that pay for others' haircuts.
it. Yeah,
They'll say,
that's awesome.
Who's next? It happened again 2 days ago. So, guy cuts his hair and he says, "Who's after me?"
Yep.
And he had a look, and I point out, and depending on who it is, sometimes it's a random thing. He says, "Whoever's next."
Yep.
Sometimes it's, is that person worthy of it? You know,
Yeah,
100%. This particular person was.
Yep.
It's just a nice gesture.
Yeah,
And
it is.
He doesn't want any recognition though.
Yep.
So can I let them know now? He goes, "Nah, I'm not about that. Don't tell them now."
See, that's real.
Yeah.
That's
and it gives me goosebumps when he gives it to me. The person that receives it after, they get, you know, they're like, "What?
yep.
How does it happen?"
Yeah.
Fuck, what did he look like? You know, he was just there. you
Yeah,
know,
well, they're asking the questions.
Yep.
They're like, "I need to tell him."
Yep.
So it's just not the way it works.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
called paying it forward.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just accept that gift you got today and
Yes.
smile about it and take
Yes.
that happiness forward with you and
Yeah.
do something good with it today.
And
Exactly.
this particular recipient did so much good. She does so much good through her and her son. So
Yep. The mental health side of things, bro. Tell us a bit more about what you do in the barbershop.
Yeah.
And we've got a short clip. I haven't been able to put too much up, but we've got a bit of a short clip just showing the shop. But you'll see in this, guys, soon you'll see the positivity, the way you are with the boys as well.
Yeah.
Like it's a vibe. People, for me, I just want to go there just to sit and chill.
Yeah.
And just watch you guys, you know, put smiles on people's faces. But
Well, I guess like you've told me about it, I did some jobs out in Narrabundah. I've walked past, but is it like, what movie am I thinking about? And it's got all the black dudes that just sit around in the chairs and
Oh, barbershop.
all the young fellas come in and get their hairs cut there in the background, shooting wisdom and stuff like that. Is it, and playing good tunes over the top? And is it a vibe like that?
it's because it's an appointment shop.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big difference in having that vibe of have people waiting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love walk-ins.
Yep.
Because I love the
you don't know
vibe
what's
of,
going to walk in.
Yeah, you've got people waiting. They're all part of the convo.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now that I'm getting older,
Yeah.
there's a stress and a pressure that you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And so when I used to walk in, I lost passion for the job because I felt guilty to go for a leak. Felt guilty to go for lunch. Someone's just been waiting for 2 hours and you're telling me you're going to go have a 30-minute break. Like I'm not honoring that person who's just waited for me then.
Yep.
So you're hustling. And so now that I've got the appointment shop, one, it does two things. And the reason why we went to that system was it allows me to instantly focus on my person for the time that I've got him. And two, not adding to the extra stress as you get older. The idea is to release stress.
100%.
You know, get less of it in your life.
And essentially that
Work
stress
smarter.
then moves on to your client as well, because you're rushing and you know, you want everything to walk out of the shop 110%, but you also want to provide the experience that you do. So providing that experience and then putting pressure on that, essentially, I know myself, when I'm under the pump, I don't enjoy making coffee as much. Or like talking to, you know, my regular coming and we'll have a 20-minute convo. But when you've got people lined up, you just don't get to do that. No. You are under the pump.
Yeah.
So it does make it hard, essentially. So that does sort of transfer to
Definitely.
your clients as
It's
well.
got me vibing. I'm definitely going to jump online and book myself in for a haircut
Yeah,
now.
come and
I'm
have a
gonna-
chat. You don't
yeah,
have to get a haircut. If for anyone watching, man, you don't need to get a haircut.
Just come
Just
and
come for a chat.
Come hang out for a bit. And we love it, man. People walk past, we haven't seen, and they might have a new kid, or you know, we'll all come to the front door and we're just checking in, just feel like, man, how's the daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
And customers know and they're okay with it because they're used to it now.
Yep.
They're not thinking, hey, these guys have left me.
Yep.
They can see that we've been invested in someone as well. And we're not there for 20 minutes, but it's like man, how are you? Like it's different because
But it's a genuine rapport.
It's a
not
genuine
something
rapport.
you're just doing to drum business. You guys are genuinely, you know, you're into that moment.
we're invested in them.
Invested, bro. Yeah, that's the word.
The big thing that I think we're big on, and we've got so many regulars, but then we've also got ones that just come in and get a haircut every 3 or 6 months.
Yep.
And so what we're all big on is, one, we're getting older, we're mature, so there's less ego with, say, for example, you got a beautiful haircut. When I walked in the door, I said, who cut your hair? Complimented
Thank
your
you.
hair.
Thank
There's
you.
less about keeping that customer, and we're more about like so I believe with being a barber that our responsibility, yes, we cut hair, but it's not what we do. We build relationships.
Yep.
And so although someone's who might live in Gungahlin and we live in Narrabundah, for anyone watching, it's about a 25-minute drive.
Yep.
Life happens. I got kids.
Yep.
I haven't got the time to drive out that way all the time. So encouraging that you've got your other barbers as well, and then people just cycle. And so when someone's booked in with me and I haven't seen them for 6 months, they know that I'm not feeling, hey, where have you been? Because money and flow, it's got to flow. Everything flows in the world, man. You can't
100%.
You can't hold on to things.
Yeah.
It gets stuck. And if that's stuck, then it's going to stop coming to you in other ways.
Yes.
In other areas of your life.
Correct. Yep.
So it's flowing through. So when he comes in and I see a guy's name when you walk through the door, it's a genuine like, man, I'm stoked. I get to see you, like, how are you? Come sit in my chair. And they're catch-ups.
Yep.
You know, they're cool catch-ups. So I prefer that sometimes.
And it's generally nearly 40 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
for
half an hour
yeah.
to however long. So that's a long time to sort of get a combo flowing. Sometimes not long, you know, it's not long enough. You got heaps more to say. But
Well, I know as a customer that I like to talk to my barber. You know, I like to, and some of them they don't talk that much. So you know, like you start a conversation and then them, you know, as me as the customer, I start getting the barber talking because I like that. I get relaxed, you know, like telling this guy what I've been up to, where I'm going on the weekend or something like that, you know, whether he cares or not. Hey, for me, it's that time to just sit. I actually, the older I get, I actually like going and getting my hair done now. Nice. I like to sit back and just do nothing for a minute. Phone's on silent because I don't care. This is my time.
yeah, I
I'm
don't
in the
even
chair.
have my phone. It's always sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing you want to do is be sitting there on your phone,
Yeah,
zoned out. Like
that's
it's
not where you go to get your hair cut for. That's your time. I
There's
reckon.
not many other times that guys have an opportunity to let someone look after them.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the beautiful women in our lives, they work bloody hard. But for guys, there's not much time where you're allowing someone in your personal space, your personal space for starters.
Yep.
They're right there.
Yep.
You know, sometimes they're moving so close you can feel things you have to move over.
Yeah, sometimes you get a dick on the elbow and shit. You know,
Bro,
you
was
got to
that
tuck your
was that
elbow in.
your comb? It's like a bloody better beam.
Was that your balls?
We've all felt it. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what we're
There's no-
talking about,
like,
man.
it was only today.
Fucking weird sometimes. Eh?
Leo
You
was
just tuck
cutting
them
my
in.
hair today, and I was like, And when you're a little bit bigger in the shoulders and whatever, and you sit a bit more abroad in the chair, and your arms are out, and you can feel something, you're like, oh, fucking hope that's not what it
The arms
is.
squeezing, and we feel it as barbers. We know exactly what it's on because I know exactly what's touched your arm. And it
A
wasn't
couple
like
of plums just resting on your
You,
elbow.
you look down, old mate's going,
You like that?
but that's the humorous side to it as well. And like, I don't have the clip of you, but I was seeing a video of you doing a guy's hair, and they're just kissing him on the forehead, and like that's crack up, bro. Like it's
that was actually a scary video to shoot. Hey, I got the
you had the
idea
camera
of
set up
in the
too.
States, and everyone was you close their eyes, and then you're telling them to turn to you, so it looks like they've wanted the kiss, and you record it. It says, close your eyes. I'm just going to do some teaching for the other guys. Just record it. And they turn around, they close their eyes, and you give them a kiss on the forehead. But I started testing myself and doing it to some bigger, scary guys. Big beards, got big motorbikes. And I was like, I want to test it because I know that's going to get a better response.
Yeah.
But I was shaking. I was shaking. I was like, I have to do it. I got to do it for the content.
I
Yeah,
reckon that's-
it's all about the content,
Kiss me
bro.
on the head all you want. Don't put your fucking balls on the elbow.
But you know what? The funny thing is, you'll react to a kiss on the head, but we say nothing about junk
Oh,
on
no.
the elbow.
Yeah,
I tell
yeah.
you now, you just like, oh fuck, hope that wasn't what it was. I hope that was his leg.
You get a kiss on the forehead, you go, you fucking right, bro, or what?
One guy looked at me straight in the eye afterwards, like I did it. I had a few people that were just cracking up, you
Yeah.
know. Then one guy just turned after he opened his eyes and he just looked at me. And I just had to be like, bro, it's just joking. He started to fake laugh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He wasn't in it.
It's like, fuck
At least
off.
he's still sort of seen the side where shit, I can't say anything, like this guy's just kissed me on the forehead.
I opened the shop, man, so that nobody else went through the same thing alone.
Yep.
And so I started hosting men's walks and other events to.
And that's another thing we want to touch base on is those walks, are they still happening every Sunday?
No, so I've slowed them down.
Yep.
And I've started diving into. So we were doing the walks, and they were awesome. They provided a space for us to get together.
Yep.
And just nut things out. Just have a walk. Share, don't share.
about things,
but
yeah.
build a community
Grab
where
a
you're
coffee.
starting to build trust around. But I noticed through some of the walks, I was like, we're getting the same people, which was awesome, and we were still talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Years later. So I thought to myself, I was like, am I kind of, we started to rub each other's backs here. We're talking about it was so important,
Yep.
but we weren't making any change.
No progress.
We weren't no progress to it.
Yep.
It's one thing getting it off our chest, but change requires change. We were living the
100%.
same lives.
Especially if you're doing this years down the track.
Years down the track, and what I noticed was we're all using the same vices,
Yep.
the same things that we'd use to kind of escape from making any change. And so I thought to myself, I need to start to place myself again in more environments,
Yep.
like I did with the Buddhist stuff
Yep.
earlier on. I was like, I'm going to go find some more things.
Yep.
I need to
For you.
to dive and heal more of my journey.
Yep.
And so I dealt and healed the part, or started the process of the relationship when I got divorced.
Yep.
But I still hadn't unpacked the 35 years before that.
Yes.
So I thought,
Which is a lot of unpacking.
which is a lot of unpacking.
You're not that old, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I take my hat off, you'll know exactly the age. And it's very shiny,
yours
man.
off, Chase.
You need to turn the lights off.
Mine's,
You're in
mine's
glare.
frosted. They call it chrome. It costs lots. It's lots of wisdom to be chrome.
Well, there's
they tell
definitely
me.
no salt and pepper in there, bro. It's chrome.
Yeah, it's all chromed.
Yep. Yep.
And so I started finding, when you start, your algorithms on Instagram start popping up, right? About things that
Isn't
you're
it
starting
crazy
to
how it
search.
changes?
Yeah. It
Yep.
talks to you.
Was that why I get all those women in bikinis that pop up all the time? Is that because of the algorithm? Is that what you mean? Is it watch you?
I've seen on
they're
your
looking at you.
phone.
They're looking at me. Yes.
All the advertisements for the cube.
We couldn't do an episode without bringing it up.
We'll touch on that
When
later.
he's the one that's been there. I've never been there.
Yeah, right.
He likes it. He's got a gold card.
So anyway, all the things that are coming, all the things that are coming into my feed.
My bad.
No, I'm not immune, bro. I'm not immune. I'm not immune. We're all not immune here, man.
No.
So it's not guys dancing with their shirts off. But isn't it crazy how, like, when you are talking about something, you haven't touched your phone, you haven't searched it even, and the next ad that pops up is that. It's like,
Is the
come
cube.
on.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah. Apparently, it's in the T's and C's when we download things, but no one's reading the jargon. We're just pressing accept, right?
And that's the thing in microphone. It's listening.
Yeah.
It's listening to you all the time. It is crazy.
Yeah.
What came through my feed, what started popping up, were all these events, specifically men's events, and I saw these guys like yourselves, like strong men, placing themselves in environments, dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
And so I went to the first one, and that was a massive eye-opening, life-changing
Was that
experience.
back in Queensland or here?
That one was actually by a Tongan guy. His name's
right.
Leno Holla.
Yeah,
and
okay.
he lives in Gold Coast. He's got a company called Men's Medicine.
Yep.
The name speaks for itself.
Yes.
And so
I know exactly
I
what you're
went to
talking
one
about.
of his sessions in Sydney. And at that stage, I decided that I don't want to have any children.
Yep.
I was like, children aren't for me.
Yep.
And then, so I went to this particular day workshop, and I had this profound experience, and it was my body inside me telling me, you do want children. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't. It was like, yeah, you do. And then I unpacked it while it was the session. What we did was we experienced something called breath work. And I'll go into this a little bit later, but I discovered that I actually didn't want children because I was too scared of passing everything else that I was feeling and who I was into this another little being, creating another person.
Yeah.
And so anyway, after the session, my eyes opened completely, and I was like, I've got to do more of this. I've got to find more of these environments. So in my algorithm, all these other events popped up, and retreats started popping up, men's retreats.
I love retreats.
And so because I knew the brother Leno from Men's Medicine, it kept popping up, and I thought, oh, these dates aren't aligning. They're not it's not working for me. And then this other guy's retreat popped up. His name's Frankie Winterstein, and he owns a company. He runs a retreat called the Brothers Voyage. And this popped up on this one particular day, but all the dates from the Men's Medicine ones, I generally couldn't turn up.
Yep.
I had things on, but this date from this particular Brothers Voyage popped up, and I remember being at the gym and thinking, shit, I don't have an excuse. Nothing's on.
Yeah.
And so
It's
I sat
clear.
with it, and I speak to my partner, and I was like, shit, I've got no excuse here. And I had to book it. Everything in my body, in my fibers, in my body, it was just a full body yes. I got no choice. I have to turn up.
Yep.
That experience changed and has shaped my life to this day.
That's insane.
From the time I left that place, which was a farm, nothing has been the same again. And
Where was that one located, bro?
That was inland. That was at Coffs Harbour.
Yeah, Coffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything had changed for me, man.
Yep.
And essentially, what's going on in these retreats? Or
Yep.
what the hell is happening for you to feel like you didn't want children and now you want children? What
Yep.
happened? And the answer was I experienced for the first time something called breathwork. And essentially, it's breathing.
It is.
It's something that we've always got with us, something that we've always had from the moment you enter this world. And then the moment you end this world,
It's free to you.
it's free to you.
Yep.
So when you come out of your mother's womb, your first breath is you're inhaling. And then when you leave this earth, it's the last thing you do, which is an exhale.
Exactly.
But nobody has taught us how to breathe through us in our lifetimes. It's not in your schooling systems. And there's probably a real reason for that. Because there's solution. We are able to address the causes
Yes.
from breathing. We live in a society where we treat mental health. It's like you're placing a Band-Aid on an amputated limb.
Yes.
We're doing that's fuck all,
Yep.
you know, and
It's not-
essentially
It's not patching anything.
it's not patching anything up. And the way the system is being created is that we deal with symptoms and not the causes.
Yep.
And there's a big reason for that, you know, is because when you go to the doctor and you're saying, hey, I'm not feeling well, they want to treat the symptom
Yep.
because there's money in the symptom. I can give you
Exactly.
magic pills.
Repetitive.
I can give you things and write down my script because I can treat the symptom.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put you on a mental health plan.
Yep.
But that
Yep.
And we'll
plan
give you some-
results drugs. Yeah.
And it's not based on context. It's taking out of context. Why are you not feeling well?
Yep.
You know,
What's
take
the
that thing
cause?
away, then I'm back to normal again. But anyway, so that's a deeper, I guess, comment around that system part that pisses me off.
But it's true that, like, essentially, as you were just saying, you're not treating the cause.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's a Band-Aid solution. We keep putting Band-Aids on these problems.
Yeah.
But yet we're effectively not taking care of the actual cause so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. And then what happens when it doesn't, if we're not treating the cause, we're passing that on
Properly.
to the next generation.
Exactly.
Well,
Cycle continues.
I found, to one of our mutual friends that's not here anymore, he gave me his, because he was big, big on the black dog, and he gave me his doctor to talk to, and not a medicine doctor, as a head doctor, and you didn't even have to go to him. He didn't want to see you.
Yep.
He wanted you to sit in your own environment and talk to him on the phone.
Yep.
And to me, he's part of the reason why I sit here today and I'm back to myself, because he just, I remember my dad years ago, he went to one, and my dad was not of mine thought to be in that, it just wasn't him. And unfortunately he went to a head doctor that was talking about windows and, things to the next world and all this stuff that was just way over my dad's head. So to him, it was always taboo, to go see someone like that. And because it was just, he said, it's just words, So I grew up, knowing that, you don't go anywhere near them. But after my friend John, he'd been through a lot, and he said, this guy did help me. He said, he may not help you. He didn't push him on me or anything like that. Like you've gone to retreats for you that really worked, but you can throw it out there, but it's up to that other
100%.
person to go 100%. And get out of it what they want, so you can't, it's not a fix for everybody. It's you yourself's got to be ready. And I was ready when John gave me that contact. I was ready to talk to somebody. I was ready to, to break the mold, that my dad had always set for me. No, you're tough, you're this, you're that. I was ready. I wanted to get back to me. So and you're right. That's what it takes. You wait for that right time. You wait for everything to line up, but then inside yourself, you'll still make an excuse. That it's not right. Yeah. But when you get that moment of clarity, and it is the right time. It is time for me to sort this out. For me as a human, for my family, for whatever. So. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And most of the time we either need to hit rock bottom, or things have to be going really pear-shaped, where your family and your partner's saying, hey, like, if you don't do this, this is not looking good for this family.
100%.
So everyone that in the circles that are being part of, we're all at that point. No one's knocking on the door saying, hey, man, things are going pretty well.
Yeah.
You got any other options? It doesn't happen that way.
No.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with going back to the retreats, bro, that's something that I always looked into, but never did myself. How long was the retreat? How long were you at the retreat for?
Yeah. So like you said, they vary from days to the amount of days vary from different companies that are out there.
Yep.
But I'm a big believer, man, that things land in your lap for a reason.
They do.
And so the one that I went to stood out, and I had no excuses for a reason. You know, and
but it changed your life.
It changed my life.
It was meant to be.
Yes, and it was always at a spot where I needed to go for myself, And so this particular one was a 4-day one.
Yep.
And it's based around, each retreat is different, but this particular one, the reason I went there actually is because Frank, he's an ex-professional international. He played for both Australia and Samoa in rugby league.
Wow.
And he played a vast career for Manly. I was like, hey, you've lived the life that I've lived, so you're going to understand.
Yeah.
Whereas I wouldn't have resonated going to someone with their legs crossed and their arms up.
Yep.
Because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So this guy was Samoan, Leno was Tongan. I was like, you understand.
Yeah.
Like we're real
Brothers.
people. And so it was a 4-day retreat, and it's based around essentially dealing with your shit.
Yep.
We have no phones, and it's a perfect opportunity where we were just isolated to say, lean on the brothers around you.
Yep.
And we'll give you some tools that we can actually start to deal with this.
Yep.
And the reason why these things work, in my opinion, is because never in your life have you prioritized that for yourself.
Yeah.
And so they've just created the space for you to be able to prioritize it.
Yep.
And so, we worked around breathwork. And essentially with these patterns of breathing, it's not cuckoo or taboo. It's literally breathing. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. But by doing it a particular way and following particular techniques, you're able to start to access some deeper things within ourselves and start to really start healing what's going inside. And so from that point, I decided this was too big to keep to myself.
Yep.
If I didn't find this, I don't know what was going to happen.
Yep.
And I know there was a lot of people out there through being in a barber's chair, So over the years as a barber, I've discovered that everyone's shit is the same. Everyone's got the same story, but the characters in it are different. And so everyone's telling me something they think they're the only one going through it. And I was like, bro, I can tell you right now, 3 other people have been in this chair today saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, if this chair could talk.
And including myself.
Yep.
And so it's just a beautiful environment where people can come safely
Yep.
in a trusted environment and actually
Let it
start to unpack
Yep.
their pasts
Yep.
in a safe way. And so I dove into throwing all my resources and time into learning from some of the best in the country.
Yep.
How to teach this modality, this skill.
Yep.
And so now I use that in the barbershop setting through a company that I run now called Mānava, which is the Samoan word for breathing. And so now I use that as the tool
Yep.
to help others and hold space for them
Yep.
so that you don't have to feel it all alone the same way that I did. And so I host now men's workshops and walks.
Yep.
And I support others. And so it's actually coming back full circle now. That particular retreat that I went to the first time, I ended up going twice.
Yeah. Okay.
The first retreat that I went to, almost a year and a half now, I'm facilitating at the retreat coming up in October.
Oh, wow.
How good
So
is
it's
that?
the work kind of coming
Isn't
full
that
circle.
like just
You're on the other side of the couch.
a big achievement in its own?
Yeah.
Like to know you were there for a reason and
Yeah.
how you're facilitating, and
Yeah.
how good's that?
Yeah, deeply honoured and grateful that people trust me, and
Yeah,
it's something I don't take lightly. Hey, with the in the circles that I hold and the breathing sessions that I hold, and I've got one next week actually, which is a men's circle, a men's only event.
Yep.
And the people that turn up, they trust you, man. They're
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I'm at my wit's end."
Well, they've taken that first step too.
First step.
They're there, you
Yeah.
know. So I think essentially it's just doing that, letting the guard down, and just allowing people in.
Yeah, man.
I think that's a big thing. Like when you're talking about breath work before, a good mate of mine, Benny Lowe from the Gold Coast, he was right into breath work and stuff like that. And he said to me, this was just after my accident, Benny, he reached out and he's like, bro, come down, train with me. I'm like, I can't, man. I can't train, you know. I just can't with my head. But I'll come down and sit and watch, you know. And he's like, no, I've got something better. Let's go do some breath work. And it was with this girl called Hillary, another good friend of Benny's. And we were at the Spit on the Gold Coast underneath the trees, bro. It was a beautiful day. The waves, you could hear everything. It was like, fuck, was it emotional, bro?
Wow.
Like, that was my first time doing breath work, and holy shit, like Benny and I paired up, and, you know, there was quite a few of us there, and Benny and I, like two pretty strong sort of lads, you know, and we're sitting there face to face, and Hillary's like, right, I want you to talk about this, I want you to unplug this, unplug that, and get it out. And by the end of that, Ben and I both had tears in our eyes, and what a moment. Like, I never would have thought that went that way, but, you know, the breath work alone was just absolutely insane. It's definitely something that I would do again. But, yeah, just for that emotional connection as well, which, yeah, you're just literally connecting with the earth, your mate, and just the nature itself was just insane.
We all want to be seen, eh?
Yep.
Want to be heard.
Just like your voice, you know, is calming alone. Like, you know,
you, bro.
just sitting here with you, I'm pretty couch, you know. But as you can see, and we spoke about it before the show, island stuff is, to me, it's always been about family, you know. And I'm an Aussie as they come, and you know, you're an island, as you said. But for me, that's why I ended up covered like I am, because, you know, some of my great mates, he's a Samoan chief in Melbourne. Like, just Aussies are a bit rough, you know. Aussies are a bit rough on each other, you know, where you look at, you know,
It's a
islanders
different culture.
and, yeah, it's all about the family, food, hanging out, you know, all that sort of stuff. And that's what's always, even, you know, like I talk about your voice, it's comforting, you know, like my mates just make me feel comfortable. You ring up, hey, what's happening? Hey, bro, what's going on? Later, ball. You know, it's just, you know, it's good.
Hoary as.
But it's good, you know. Aussie's like, yeah, catchy cunt, how you going? Like, it's just, you know, growing up, you know, with just Aussies and then making some great mates out of Islanders, you guys make us feel comfortable, you know. So, and it's probably the success of your business and then what you're up to now. I can see me personally, listening to you and just meeting for the first time on the show tonight, like pretty comfy. I'm sold, man. I'm going to book myself, in for a haircut and chill out
Or a
for
breakfast
sure.
session.
And I think I was just about to say.
Well, the boys
I think
have
that's
told me
the
about
challenge
that.
for us to actually together. Let's go and do it. And
The Freestyle
we
Kings
can talk
guys
about this.
have told me about that. They like Robbie Madison is big on breathing.
Yes.
A lot of it for their mental power. So there's another positive to not only healing your body, but for
Performance.
their performance and their mind control.
Recovery.
It's like ice
Yep.
bars. Ice bars.
Ass bars. Ooh, I don't
I know
want
what's
to be
coming
one
through
of
your
them.
feed, bro.
I don't know where you can get it up.
Bro, how did I get here, man?
Fuck.
You want to come over this side? Are you worried over there? This isn't even on the blooper reel, mate. This is live.
It will be. We've got an ass bar out the back. What the fuck? Oh shit!
No, there's different forms. You got the performance stuff.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
got so many. I explain breathwork as like it's like your gym timetable. You've got spin cycles and box fit. You got
Yes.
powerlifting, or you can just do some stretching.
Yep.
And so it's important that when people see it online, that's not what you're going to get every time.
Yeah.
It's what you're looking for. You got professional athletes who use the ice to remove the lactic acid and then return to a regulated state. But then we
Muscles.
can also deal with some deep shit as well.
Yeah.
But it's important to know that it's not all like that.
It's opening up the mind too.
Yeah.
I found with breath work, it was just so clearing. The mind, the body, everything. And ice bars are another big way of doing that. For me, generally, I haven't been lately, but nearly every morning or night, I would
Give me a
just
text, bro.
straight to cold.
You can come over. We have a nice.
You know what? I say you can get fucked on the ice baths because I've never got in
until
one,
you-
and I ain't gonna do it either. I've got
there's
a little
so
pippy
many-
as it is, and it doesn't need to be frozen off.
There's so many people. I mean, I suppose an ice bath can do different things for different people. It depends on the mind state that you're in. A lot of people use it for financial freedom or whatever, however they do.
Yeah, you look at Simon Beard, like he's all about, his Culture King's life. He bases on the fact that he's up early in the morning in that ice bath.
But then you look at
kicks him.
the likes of Adrian Batelli, he takes the piss out of people who do that.
Yeah.
Essentially, so it's not his thing,
Yeah.
but it's Simon's thing. And each to their own, whatever
Yeah,
physically
definitely.
helps you get through.
Yeah, whatever flicks that switch, hey?
It's as simple as if I've got an ice bath, I haven't put it up at home, but having a cold shower, turning the hot to cold.
Yep.
So just literally before you get out,
Again, no.
do it.
No. If I can heat lamp on and everything.
If I can get you to try this one thing, like the idea of
This
giving
is
it
a
a crack.
challenge, bro.
This
Yeah.
is so. For example, the reason I do them, it's got nothing to do with sports. It's got nothing to do with trying it out. Or it's all got to do with my mental strength.
So this is probably what you're saying now is setting down the challenge that you may
Yep.
put on here for me to jump in an ice bath.
Yeah.
It is. Everyone watching at home, we need to hold this man accountable. So
I'm already cold as it is just thinking about it.
it's
don't-
the way it is. That's what we do here.
I'll give you a 60-second rundown essentially
Let's
of the
go.
ice bath as with if you're going to do it for mental strength. So your body's goes into 3 sections when you're dealing with stress.
Yep.
You got your fight or flight.
Yep.
Say cool.
So I'm ready.
activated. I'm stressed. My body's in a fight or flight response.
Yep.
That's a particular window. And then if you haven't been able to deal with it, you go into the stress response. Now I'm stressed.
Yep.
Okay, I'm stressed. But your window is locked.
Yep.
So now I'm stressed. If I can't deal with that stress now I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed, and now I'm going to freeze. I'm going to paralyze a state that I was in when
Yep.
I came out of the relationship experience I told you about.
Yep.
And you become paralyzed, and it's like, hey, now I'm debilitated.
Yep.
Now I've stopped what I'm doing. Now I'm not going to work and all these other things. Or the way we respond and we're reactive, we're angry, and all
Yep.
these things.
Yep.
When we expose ourselves to stress, and it's either the cold or the hot. It doesn't have to be cold. It could be heat. So being in a sauna can give you the same benefit as you would, and as long as you're pushing yourself past the barrier.
okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what that does, though, when you're in there, does one of two things, or many, but the ones that stand out to me, is in that middle zone of in stress, it actually increases your capacity to put up with stress.
Yeah.
So before we've got fight or flight, stress, overwhelm. Now, by exposing ourselves to the cold and the stress, we're building up our resilience and our tolerance to stress. So now I can put up with more shit in your day.
Yep.
And because I got a business, I need to do that.
Because you're frozen cold, that's why.
It's true. It's true.
But that's the reason why I do it. There's no choice. It's like, fuck, I've got no choice here.
Yeah.
I need to increase my tolerance.
But when you get out of an ice bath, it's for me getting out of the shower like cold, and Canberra weather is like a fucking ice bath anyway. So the water
she's
coming
cold.
out of the pipes is cold.
Yeah, I reckon it's at least 12 degrees, hey?
Literally just going straight to cold, standing there and just deep breaths, just get through it. But you get out and your body just feels 100 times better. I don't know why. It's me. It's
can't
how
even
I feel.
resonate, I just can't.
Well, it's a challenge. I mean, we set
Bro,
a
it's a
challenge
learned-
for Danny.
it's a learned thing.
A couple of episodes to go to jump on with Lance and do a backflip at one of the shows, and he's going to do it. So for you, this is your
Getting
challenge.
in an ice bath.
You are.
the
You're
cold,
getting in
bro.
an ice bath.
I can't express how
And
much
breath
we're
work.
not friends. Like the ice.
Yeah.
Me and ice.
Oh,
Just
I
ice and
reckon
running.
we'd be yin and yang, me and ice. I like going to snow and everything like that, but
And what we'll do, we'll
Yeah.
we'll get some content of this,
How good.
of you doing it, and we'll play it on a future ep. We might even get Dan back on the couch, and we can do a bit of an episode on what.
You're like, bruh, I didn't agree to this.
The best thing about live, bro. The best thing about me editing, I won't cut it out, and it's live.
You got to get his resignation next week, bro.
Yeah, you wait till I get a challenge. I'll be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna edit this. This is going.
I'm listening, yes, but in my head, how the fuck I'm going to get him back?
Yeah, I could see you change gears, bro. I could see it.
I'm like, okay, challenge is there, but I got to think of one now for him.
Yeah,
But for all this sort of thing, I'm down. Hey, I'm down for it. I reckon we set that challenge. We'll come out and do some content.
I'm all for making myself better. Yes, I got back to me.
Yes.
But hey, in no way do I function like I was intended to in this world.
Yes.
I don't reckon.
Yep.
I give everything a go. And now a little bit about me for you. I'm now a grandfather, which I
congrats.
feel that has rewired me. Like I've never been. Yes, I've had my own girls, and they're older now, but I've never been that person I would reach for somebody else's kid and hold them. It was never interesting to me at all. But along comes this little man, and I don't think I've ever loved something that I don't know at all, like I do this little man, because and like I was saying to my wife, I feel natural, when people dump their kid on you and go, oh, give him a cuddle, and you're like, you feel all awkward. When I grab him, it's like what I did with the girls. It feels natural.
Yep.
And I like what I'm getting to is I like that. So I'm
Do
all
you feel
for
like it gives you more purpose?
it's just rewired me.
Something
It's given
to
me
charge your
it's
battery.
like it opened up all my veins and everything. Just like he lights up my life, when he smiles at you, and he can't talk, he can't crawl, he's still only 5 months old.
Yeah. And I get snaps all day on it.
Yeah, and I just say things to
It's
him,
cute.
and his mouth opens up, and he, we get a giggle out of him. I'm like, wow, like that's that's
even
me
when-
doing something, and he likes it.
When we were at the game the other day, and you walked up to him, he's like,
I know, and it's just that part, and that's what I'm saying is that I'm open to get more of that in my life, whether it's from a grandkid or whatever. So I'm open to,
Or you'll
Maybe
get a laugh
this is
out of it. At the very least, you'll get a laugh.
Oh yeah,
I
fuck
will.
it.
But no,
I'll
this
get
is
down
good.
to me like me knees, and I'll be like, you'll be on my head going.
It'll be my foot on your head.
Very interesting.
But no,
yes.
look, and that's a challenge. I'll do it too. I'm down for it.
Are we going to wear budgies or going to get my guts out?
Geez, the viewers do not want to see that.
Nah, I think I'll wear a singlet.
We're a bunch of
No one needs
athletic
to see
chisel
this.
dads.
We'll
when I came
we'll
to
wear
Canberra.
wetsuits.
Oh, sweet. Steamers, 18 mil thick. I can't feel shit.
Why has he got long johns on, wetsuit?
Heated Milwaukee jacket.
yeah, exactly. But no, I think we'll definitely be in contact with that, and we'll come out. We'll
reach
get some
out, man.
content and
Reach out.
put it on a future ep. I think that'd
Well,
be
you
cool.
definitely given
show
me
the-
a shot in the arm, like it's, learning my journey and stuff like that. And I learned a lot along the way about myself too. Like I said to Dion, watching telly in the past, there'd be soppy shit on it. Fuck, turn this shit off, like, or I'd look across and my wife would have tears down her face. Like, what is wrong with you?
But it's
now she looks across and goes, what is wrong with you?
Oh, I love it, bro.
Because it kind of just opened things up. It was,
Yes.
I kind of felt like, you know what? I don't give a
You're
care
human,
what
bro.
Because you're
anyone.
being free who you are now.
Yeah,
You're
I don't care
comfortable
what
with that.
anyone says anymore. I went through this period where I lost me, I got me back, and I'm pretty happy. So
But essentially, we all, obviously put up that facade where you don't want to show emotion. You don't, but fuck it, emotion's real. It's
Mate,
raw. It's part of life.
well, we see, social media is all fake. It's all filters. It's this. It's that. It's like it's not you. Be you. Like that's the best thing to be is be you.
I can't express enough how much we all want that, but we don't feel like we're allowed to be there.
Yep.
Or we're not comfortable, or the ones that are around us aren't letting us feel safe enough to be that,
Yep.
to be you.
And that's why surround yourself, with
Positive,
with
like-minded
people like that, because and it's hard to tell, like my daughter's had friends along the way that have been a bit toxic, but you're like, you don't need them, like life.
It's
you've got a
easier
long
for
life.
us
and
in the position we're in because we've been there, done that. So it is harder for the younger generation coming through where you don't do it. Like you don't. We can see they're using you. It's just not a good thing for you to go down that road. And again, passing on that wisdom, it's going to be straight over their head until they get to the point where they're like,
They learnt their lesson.
"Fuck, hang on."
Yeah, it's the journey they have to go on at the end.
Exactly.
Sometimes, a lot of the time, I've taken a step back. And my wife and I have said, well, they really have to go about their own journey because you're not going to heal.
They will not get to where you are.
No.
And the wisdom.
Exactly.
You touched on something earlier, and you were saying that like there's things that happen to us in our lives that we go through, and that's what's kind of needed for you to evolve.
Yep.
The evolution needs hardship.
Yep.
That's the only way.
You've got to go through the shit.
You've
to
got
get
to
to
go
the
through
good.
the shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said with my marriage, was you got to slay the dragon to get to the princess.
Yep.
I really hope that
I
doesn't
love
get
it, though.
back to.
I can cut it, bro. Just let me know.
So would you say you've got to the princess now?
I've got the princess.
Oh, we
now,
had Dan on last week, and he kind
Another
of
Dan, yeah.
he kind of alluded to that. Yeah, that he had had a false start, and now he's found his rock. So
And that's the thing. Life is one big journey. You've got to take it with both hands. I think the biggest thing, people take life for granted, and that's I think the biggest flaw is people might. I'm different. People will save their whole life and not have fun and not do anything, but then die, and then that's it. They've had no fun. They haven't enjoyed that. Yes, they may be leaving a abundance of wealth for younger thems or whatever it may be, but essentially you've got to enjoy life. You've got to live it and enjoy it.
It's only a short ride, man.
I've told my
100%.
girls I'm spending all the money now.
Oh, 100%.
Come with me and enjoy it, because what I'm going to leave you a pile of cash and I'm not here anymore. Like, what are you going to do with it?
But sometimes it does take some pretty hard hits for you to actually realise that. Like, yes, we all work our asses off and we continue to work our asses off, but it's for what we have and for the lifestyle we want to live. A lot of people get so sidetracked by where they want to get to, they're not enjoying the journey that gets them there, essentially. So they get to that point, they're like, shit, I don't even remember that. That wasn't fun. But now it's fun here because we've got this Lamborghini or whatever. But essentially, it's we can have some pretty traumatic experiences, whether it be losing close loved ones, accidents, or anything like that, where you're like, it's a trigger. And for me, with my accident, was another trigger again. Doing what I did, working in fire and rescue for 8 years and working in ICU up here for nearly 4, watching people leave the earth on a daily basis. It was always an eye-opener, and it sort of pushed you to go, fuck this, life is so short. I'm watching young people die all the time over dumb shit, the big C or whatever it is. But then for me to go through my traumatic experience with my accident nearly taking me off the face of the earth, and nah, not anymore. You've just got to learn to live, love, and do it hard. Tomorrow's never promised, unfortunately. So the hardest thing is getting caught up in so many moments, or whether it be depression or lost friendships, love, or whatever, you've got to learn to just get up and dust it off and keep going, because the moments are precious.
Or find a friend that's going to help you with that,
man.
you know. Have that bud, you know, like.
Have the shoulder to
And I always say that, you know, I'm in construction and I do a toolbox talk every morning, and I go through parts of that each day. You know, I break it down and just remember that we all had something last night, you know, and just move along. Or if you see someone struggling, then if you don't feel like talking to him, then come and tell me. Say, you know,
Let me go talk.
I heard something, and, you know, I'll go and have a coffee with them or something like that. You know, like I promote that big time as culture on my
awesome,
sites,
man.
is because I guess, you know, like us, you got to experience something,
Yeah.
and then to know that watch your people during the day, you know, be kind to your mates.
Yeah.
Pretty much is it, you know. And you don't know what someone's going through, you know,
We're all going through something no one knows anything about.
and it could be something really bad, you know. So
Surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people, I think that really helps. And going back through, you know, the years of my darkness and where I was, if I didn't have the people I had, and you know, they know exactly who they are. God knows where you'd be. Like, essentially, you know, you feel like you're constantly trying to battle these demons on your own, but having that support, and it changes everything. It changes the outcome.
do you find some in both years that you find on your journey that you've been through? Have you found some people that it's just too much? You know, like you know, you've got a real good aura about you, obviously, but have you found people along the way that are just like, wow, man, you're just too much. Like,
Man,
I'm into healing, but man, you're just way too much.
Once you've come out the other end, like we both have, man, my capacity for that is so much smaller, because you're so much since you've gone through the hardship and the shit, and you've dragged yourself through the mud to get out, and then you come into contact with some people that just zap the living shit out, the energy out of you.
Yep.
You're just like, you become more aware of, I have to be more mindful of putting up my own boundaries on how much energy I can give you.
Yeah.
Because this is just zapping me here, and
Yep.
this is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
And
become
when-
more aware of it.
100%. And exactly. And I think getting the life sucked out of you is just, it's too much. Like having those people drain you essentially when you're trying to heal or do your own thing. It's a big thing.
Would you say, you know, with the journey you're going through with helping people and stuff like that, have you worked out a way to not take a piece of it home with you? If you know, because some things will stick, you know, some you know, like Dion's seen a lot with the work that he's done and that sort of stuff, and we'd spoken about that on the podcast of things that stick on you, and you know, and you just take it home without even conscious of it. Have you found yourself in that?
Man, I'll be honest, it's always been a hard thing for me to do.
Yep.
When
feel you.
I'm the type of person that if you're a person that I don't feel you're sucking the life from me,
Yep.
and I've decided to sit down with you,
Yep.
I genuinely care.
Yep.
So
And
you
I
care about me? Is that what you're saying?
care
You're
about
sitting
you,
down
bro.
with me right now?
I care about you, brother.
Sweet.
You wear your heart on your sleeve too.
Wear your
bro,
heart in my
you know?
sleeve, and people can take advantage of it as well.
100%.
But in those environments and the spaces that I'm creating, the guys and the females that are there, there's a lot of energy there. So I actually have to go through a process myself
Yep.
to kind of protect myself in that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Yep.
And some advice that I got from a mentor was really powerful to me. Was observe and not absorb.
Yeah. Yep.
So
They're
it's
hard.
It's
It is a
very,
hard thing.
very hard.
Fuck, bro, that's a fine line, you
Oh,
know.
bro, it's so hard, man. And the second one was to care but not carry.
Yeah.
And so that one I'm starting to get really good at.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
It
be
is hard.
empathetic and really resonate to somebody, but know that that it's one, I can't save you. Two, it's not my job. My job is here to be of a support and let you know you're not alone.
Yep.
But in no means do you want to take on the role of being a healer or helping somebody, because then your ego is being activated.
Yeah,
It's like,
yep.
why am I doing this? If I'm
Yeah.
going to go and help someone, am I helping you for you or for me?
For me, yeah.
And is it my ego is getting a rub on the back, and it's
Yeah.
not about me.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Doing
these are
it for the
people's lives.
genuine-
So
Yeah.
what do you
talking
do if you get to the point you've got, you know, I haven't had it at work yet of anyone that's at a point where my voice and my hanging out with you is just not going to help. I haven't had any of that yet. But, I've had, right there where your barbershop is, upstairs around the other side above the Bowers, is the mental health first aid. And I've done that course. And I did that prior to my breakdown. And that's what some of the things they said in that course were things that I got to see myself and go, oh, shit, I think it's happening to me. What would your thought be if there was someone listening here and we kind of given them a little bit, but they need a hell of a lot more? What would your steps be if it was someone too far out of reach for you to try and resonate to them?
Yeah, man. By far, the first thing that pops up is find your people.
Yeah.
Find your people.
Support network.
Support network's everything, eh? And it's finding people that are a safe space for you.
Yep.
And so you touched on the kids sometimes and people knowing your friends aren't right for you right now.
Yeah.
And we as adults still need to know that same thing.
Yeah.
And it's saying that as long as you keep placing yourself in that environment, the same thing. So that what we don't heal or what we don't, it was going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
What persists, what we resist persists, and you need to be able to change your environment to help those people. But man, find support network.
People who resonate with you,
you only need one or two. You don't need heaps of friends, man.
100%. Well, essentially, and that can be a bad thing, because if you've got too many friends or like too much in your support network, you find you're not going to be giving 100% to the few that you should have or would have.
Yeah.
I feel like just having a couple is always a good start, essentially, but that the right people.
The right people.
People who have obviously been through it before and can sort of be on the same page and, just
I had
that support network.
a mate that somehow fell into being a support person for someone whose family was involved in a pretty tragic incident. And he became the only person that this guy would talk to. And it loaded him so much up that my mate ended up worse off than this guy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
So
and that's common.
Really bad. You talk about not going to work, not getting out of bed, not eating, just not thinking about suicidal stuff or anything like that, just basically melted.
Yep.
The safest place for him was his head on his pillow.
Yes.
And it was a long road out for him. He made it, yes, but man, he absorbed a lot.
He got in too far into that.
Yeah. Because he didn't know how to say to that person,
Put up your boundary.
this is where we need to part this conversation, because
And that's
he couldn't
that
help
can or
anymore.
carry thing too.
Yeah. I think that's a hard one because all these conversations are a little bit taboo and they're not normal.
Mm-hmm.
As your mate, if I'm your only person holding space for you and I'm taking this on, I don't want anything bad to happen to you.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
just
right.
going to keep wearing
And that's what he did,
until now I'm in a bad place. Now I need you to be a soundboard to me. Now that you're in a bad place and it's a cycle. But because it's taboo, we're not able to stop it. But the more we talk about it, we're able to say, hey, I want to connect you now. I want to come with you if needed. Let's go. And I heard a mate go try the doctor that you went through.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, let me connect you to my mate.
Yep.
I'll even come with you. And in that way, it's not, as taboo as it is. And so we're actually connecting them with another resource.
Yeah, and John was good
That's
with that.
equipped with the knowledge to help more.
Yeah, he was great with that part of it to go, look,
Yeah.
in passing conversation here, I'll send you the number if you want, mate. Just
Yeah.
planted that
Yeah.
and let me sit on it. And when I felt like it, bro, can you send me that number?
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I do at the barbershop. So you can imagine how many people come through the chair over how many years. And if I take on everybody's load,
Bro, hard.
I'm going home, everyone's off. So my job
Exactly.
is I just connect them to services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, this counselor is perfect for this situation, relationships, grief. This person is perfect to hear you out for these situations,
Depression
for
or-
trauma and depression, and or I feel what you need is to connect back to yourself, and I want you to come and try this particular breathing, or
Yeah.
Yep.
this-
Come jump in an ice bath.
Yeah, don't
But essentially,
don't take it on
Yeah.
all yourself.
And that's the thing. If you've got a mate that's in that situation and you feel like you are taking on, you're bearing 100% of that, and he's got no other support, that's where that sort of comes in. You're like, you get so wrapped up.
You feel
in
like
the
you're a bad mate
situation.
if you-
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he knew
know
no
he's got
way out
nobody else.
because he knew that he felt his mate's pain, losing all of his family
Yeah.
in this tragic accident, and he just didn't have the brain power to stop, and it
what
just
was
kept coming. He didn't back here. It was ringing him in the middle of the night, so he'd be asleep, and then he'd wake up and he'd be hearing it again and again. It was like, you hear them horror movies and they play a sound over and over and over, so it sends people loopy. He was just
It becomes PTSD as well from, from the guy holding this, listening to it all the time.
Yep.
Yep.
It
was
has a
just
negative-
over.
I've been
very
in situations where
repetitive.
that's happened. And he's
Yeah.
releasing angry at a mate for him for always calling him up, threatening to take his life.
Yep.
It's like, bro, this is having a deep effect on me.
Yep.
Listening to it. And it's underestimated. But the only reason it's done that way is because there's not enough education out there that says, hey, if you've got a mate, this is what you should do next.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't. No one's.
It's not
We've not
textbook.
taught. We're not taught what's next. What's the next step?
Yeah, it's kind of yes, okay. We're here to
Well, each
dealing with
scenario is
mental
different.
health. Now it's like us blokes here. We've come through. Now it's about it's
Education.
about educating mates that
Yeah.
are not suffering, mates to go.
Yes.
If you come across this,
Yes.
you
This
know?
is how you can be there for your
yeah,
mate.
not handle it with closed fists. Like handle it and then guide it somewhere instead of don't put it into the garage and leave it. Yeah, because it's
Yeah. There's some cool companies that are doing it in construction. Trademark.
Yep.
They're doing an awesome work in Queensland.
Yep.
For anyone watching, look
Yep.
them up.
Yeah.
There's another
and
one,
we'll-
mates
we'll
in
put a couple
construction as well.
Mates in construction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've kind
cool.
of been. They've got like a they can come out and do stuff.
Yep.
Learn about them. Yeah.
Another company on your socials, because everything's what we absorb. If you're on your socials, follow Livin, Livin.
Yeah, Livin,
They do
yeah.
a lot of marketing and education around how to support your mates.
Yep.
The Shaka Project.
Yep.
Sean
Yeah.
Weir up there.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So there are some
There's
good
lots
people
out
getting
there.
out there, but it's
It's
we got
taking that first
we
step.
got included in our feeds.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
take the decision because
gotta
I feel
take
it's
the first
all
step.
of our responsibility
Yep.
to be able to hold space for that for everybody.
Yep.
Because if you're not a safe space,
Yep.
you're not going to come to me, are you?
Exactly.
And it's my responsibility to let you know and show you that you can.
Yeah.
Because if we're not all alone, then collaboratively we can all help each other. We're not isolating ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, and we're not going to go to funerals. Like that's the worst of it. And we all sit here and we've been to funerals of mates who are not here anymore because the decision was made by them to not be here anymore.
And we've all been through it. We've all seen it. We've got mates that have been there and done that, and there was a period back home. There was a period there where it was just happening repetitively.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of months. People we knew, mates. It's just, and it's so hard because you as a friend think, shit, where was I? How did I not
you
see
take
this?
it on,
Or
and that's probably what I say at
and we've all got mates that hide it well.
toolboxes. Yeah, I say at toolboxes. Do you want to stand here, and have regrets for your mate?
It's a simple phone call. A
It
simple
is,
phone
yeah.
call can save someone's life. It can really change someone's
legit,
day. Or just, I'm a big believer, like, coming from back home, and obviously it's a lot of culture for us back on the Gold Coast. We have these, like big barbecues and events and things like that, and everyone comes together, and it's just a great time. But just as simple as saying g'day to somebody on your walk or your run, or hey mate, how you going? How's things? It can change someone's entire day. I know I've personally been there. Get out of the wrong side of the bed and you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this today. Like this morning I had a really shit day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. We all have these days, no matter what we go through, we still do it. It's just how you come out of it. And it took, a few people to walk in and be in a good mood and, mate, what's happening today? What's happening for the weekend? Just snaps you out of it.
But on the flip side
essentially.
of that, celebrate those days too, because sometimes it's okay to just
It's okay to not
Be
be okay.
shit.
Man, and
To
we're
be
not immune.
shit.
No one's immune.
No.
I've
No
come
matter
out
how
of it.
you are.
You've come out of it. Doesn't mean I don't have shit days.
Nah.
Like I've had one this week, and it's like I don't want to go. I wish I could just lie in bed all day.
Yep.
And I just want to let me be here.
Sometimes we need those days. You need to have that, and regardless of, you know, we're all hard on ourselves for it. No, we've got to go to work. We've got to do this. But you've just got to go, you know what, stop. I need to just take some time, whether it be I'm going to go wash the car. I'm going to do something I like doing.
Yep.
And just literally go for a walk uptown, grab some sushi, whatever it may be. Just do it because it does. It's like a reset. It's a big thing.
Every one of those things are going to speak specifically to somebody.
100%.
So you're gonna know that your power nap works perfectly for you.
Yep.
So you have to understand all that your body's receiving that as medicine.
Yep.
You know, that's true medicine of your body. If you know that power nap is going to help me regulate my nervous system, get some rest in,
Yep.
that's what you need to do.
Yep.
And I think that's why you responded well from having that bad day this morning and then finding someone with a good vibe because your body
boost you again.
One of the biggest reasons that mental health is so big is because we're disconnected.
Yep.
We're a disconnected society from each other and from ourselves. And so while you connecting with people,
This is a big thing too.
yeah. So when you're reaching out to somebody today and you got a good vibe, it's like naturally, by human design, the way we're created, we're designed to be around people.
Yep.
We're designed to be in a tribe the same way
we
as
won't work
bees
if
are
we don't.
designed to be in a hive.
Yep.
You know, we need it.
Exactly.
We
Yep.
need it. But the more we isolate ourselves and the more we continue the direction that we've kind of been taught, the fucking more harder it gets, eh?
It's true though, and it is. It's the way it goes. You know, you've got to be able to sort of. I think you've got to be able to notice that and just go, shit, I'm on the wrong path here. I'm not. This is not going to end up well for me today, or whatever it may be. You've got to be able to just go, fuck, I need to change that. Like
That's what I
Monday was
need.
a public holiday, and I work. So public holidays, I'm like, no, fuck it, let's work. You know, it might be a good day. I woke up, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I teed up with a mate to come down and we had coffee. It was an absolute stunning day. Sun was out. We sat out the front, just put one table at the front, made coffee, made brekkie for us both, and we sat there and spoke. We just talked, and it was just the best morning. It just made it essentially the whole week was just mapped out. It was just perfect until this morning. But it was just great to just stop, no phones, you know, just talk, whether it may be weather, sport, fucking business, whatever. But it was just good just to slow down and just recharge.
The biggest thing that I want to acknowledge you for there, bro, is you honored yourself and knowing what you needed for that day.
And that's the step. That's the step that I find hard to still take sometimes. But when you do it, it's rewarding.
Yep.
You're like, fuck, how good was today? Yep. You know, it was I was blessed. You know, the weather was amazing. It was just sunny. It was perfect. Good coffee, good company.
Yep.
And it was something as simple as that.
Do you say that because it was at your coffee shop? Is that why you say it was good coffee?
I mean, it's not bad coffee, is it?
No, it's actually pretty good. And for those who think we don't actually drink coffee on the show, look, can you see it? That is coffee in here. I am drinking
grinders?
coffee. Yes.
That's
Made
us.
one before the show. But I do have a 12-hour drive ahead of me after this.
Yes,
That's
they
how
wake.
committed I am to our podcast. I do the podcast, then I will
And
go.
then hit the road.
Yep.
But that's bringing us to an end, I reckon. That's an hour
Thank
and
you,
18. I think
Now, this has been probably
This
one of my
is fun,
favourite
bro. This is
episodes.
fun.
and I've
Thank
been,
you.
as you know, I've been looking forward to this
Yeah.
for ages because I really wanted to.
And I can
to get
tell
down
why,
on-
you know, like,
Thank
yeah,
you, man.
I'll definitely come to you. I've got a show in Perth coming up shortly for Freestyle Kings.
Cool.
It's a double header in Perth. We've got some pretty good athletes coming over from America, so on a pretty
gonna be a big
cruisy cut for that one. So I definitely will be booking that in.
I'd love to
the
connect
week
with you,
prior
bro.
We
to.
might even be able to tie this content in with the ice bath.
Oof.
Okay.
Eh?
Wow,
I
what
think,
a reset
I think
before
we'll,
I go.
we'll book another rep in for another 4 weeks or something, or 6
Bro, this
weeks.
was fun, man. Oh, I loved it, eh?
It's good
cool.
fun, and this
Real
is
cool.
this is
Cool
why
convo.
we do what we do. It's just, you know, being able to unpack and just talk and have fun, and it for us it's looking forward to this every week, you know. But it's good to watch people's journey, you know, and see where they come from, and you're not the only one out there who's done this and been there, you know. It's just watching how people recover from it, what they did, what steps they took, how they recognised things, and just essentially went, you know what, it's time to get back on the horse.
Well, we offer that toolbox, you know. Bod Pod is offering a toolbox for people that are regularly going to listen to us, watch us. If you could take a little bit out of anything from tonight, well, mate, that's fantastic.
Like, share it. And
Yeah.
give it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know.
Like, to do me, you know, cemeteries are getting full. It's let it get full from people getting old and stuff, not from not from leaving this world before your time. So if we can, all of us, any of us, the bloke sitting beside you on a train or a bus or whatever,
Say good day.
hello.
Man,
It's kind of pretty simple. They can either answer you back or not.
Yeah.
See, for us, like also coming from Queensland, I feel Queensland's been so different to Canberra. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Queenslanders are just more friendly people when I came to Canberra. And I get a lot of people come in, even from Queensland. We've got Services Australia over the road. So there's a lot of people coming through from all over the country training and doing everything. And I can always spot, and I did again today, I can always spot the Queensland. Yeah. And I get talking, I'm like, oh, where are you guys from? Oh, we're from Brisbane. And straight away, you can just tell. But even when I came to Canberra myself, I just found people, it's a different atmosphere. Yeah. People weren't as friendly. I was walking up the street going, morning, how are you? Good, thanks. Nothing back. And, they look down at you because of your tattoos or whatever it is, I don't know. But I just found people here not to be as friendly. And that was a big thing for me coming here and being a friendly person, and coming from, our cultural background and everything back home. And, yeah, it's insane.
I actually see myself a challenge when I walk around the lake. Yep. And I can tell somebody when they're looking down at me, like not looking down at me, sorry.
Yep.
They're looking down to
avoiding eye contact.
The eye contact. So I make my partner knows all about it. We're walking with the pram and the dog and whatever, and walk past. I can see somebody with their head down. I make my point is like I want to target you. So I'm walking past, they're like, "Hey mate, how are you? Have a good day." Like, "How are you?" Not a convo that comes back, But I'm like, you know what? I want to have a crack.
Bro.
I want to have a crack.
You did your bit. Yeah. But it is a challenge too, and I do the same thing because I used to go around the lake all the
game.
time. 100%.
Yeah. One day you'll have a win, you'll go, yes.
But you do. And even to people where I know they're avoiding me, they're avoiding eye contact, and they might even have the headphones in. You're like, morning, nice and loud, or good morning. You get a smile. It's like, yeah, I got it. And coming from again, our background is nuts because we do it with everyone, with people. Even the homeless down at Labrador at Charis Seafoods down there, we've got a problem with the homeless down there. And coming past every morning, no one would talk to them. No one would acknowledge them. They were always like, call the police, get rid of them, all that sort of thing. We used to have our resident homeless guys that would know our names even. And Daryl, rest his soul, passed away quite a few years ago. But even with like us three, Daryl and myself, we used to walk down there every day. And the boys would say, good morning, how are you? We'd go out of our way to have that conversation. What are you up to, boys? Hope you're not drinking this early in the morning. They loved it. It made their day, the fact that three normal lads would stop and have a conversation. Acknowledge them.
For who they were, not what they're doing.
Exactly.
And not where they are in
life. But they were continually being disregarded by everybody, and they would be the most nicest people. On the path, they'd be like, good morning, mate. And people would just be walking straight past because they're homeless, and that's that looking down thing. But for us, everyone's human. They've got a story to tell. They could have been a successful or wealthy banker or anything, like everyone has a journey. So you don't know where they've come from, and that was the biggest thing for us was we would talk to everybody. And coming here and doing that and getting ignored and it's like, fuck, what's wrong with me? Why isn't, you would take it on. You would 100% take it on. And that's a big thing that I've held on to is just people not being so friendly here. When they come in and get coffee, it's a different story.
Yes.
But when you pass them in the street,
until they get their first coffee.
Like I can sit out the front of a morning and just breathe the fresh air, and just sit out the front and just take 5. People come past and morning, nothing. And again, it's a judgment thing, I suppose. I don't know what it is. I don't know what goes through their mind, or they might be having a bad day.
Yeah, true.
But it's the same people, continual sort of behaviour. So they're just they're not like that. One day, but it doesn't stop you trying.
Nah, that's right.
It doesn't stop you trying.
Each day you might be breaking away. There might be a real recluse. Maybe one day you might get it.
Even people that would not sort of say hello or talk to me, come and get coffee and have a 5-10 minute conversation. So everyone has their own journey again.
Yeah.
You can't judge what they're doing and how they are, but essentially, it's just about chipping away and trying to break that mold.
Yeah,
share the love.
What a legend!
Share
mate.
the love.
Hey,
share the love.
Share the love.
I'm definitely coming to hang out with you more. That's for sure.
I'm coming to hang out with you guys.
Do you have
Mate,
coffee
you are
at
more
your
than
barbershop?
welcome.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
There's 4 places here, man. Isn't
Yeah,
that
that's
the
right.
guy that can sit there?
But no, I think that's another ep done. I think that's us for the night.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you, my bro.
Mate, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
We will
Thank you.
put in a link to some of the stuff you're doing and the barbershop and everything as well, guys. So if anything has triggered you tonight and you do want some help and you do feel like reaching out, by all means, we'll put in some links and help out as much as we can. If there is, feel free to shoot us a message. But there's plenty of opportunity out there, guys. So as I said, if you are feeling anything, by all means, reach out. We will put some links in, put some links into what Dan's doing. But again, guys, thanks for coming on. That's episode
6.
That's episode 6 on the couch with DK JayTee and Dan. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys.
Just quickly, before I go,
I've been eyeing this bag off.
got something I want to give you here, bro. This is a T-shirt that I've just remembered from us. This is like a gift from the Locker Room Barbershop. Just one of our messages on the back here. What we're just talking about today. Men who talk heal.
See that, guys? Can we
You know what I say? Because it's a bit of an island episode.
There you go, my
So
bro.
what we'll do, thank you, brother.
you.
Thank you. Muchly appreciated. That's awesome. So we'll also put up a link, guys. So if you do want to support this, it's an amazing tee. Look at that. Shit.
That'll look good on you, bro.
Yeah, that's I'm wearing that tomorrow. That's awesome. So we'll put a link up for this as well, guys. So if you want to purchase any merch from the Locker Room Clothing Co., by all means, jump on it and help support mental health. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will see you again next Friday night, 7:30 on the couch with another guest. So stay tuned and we'll see you then. Until then, stay awesome. Cheers, guys.
Laters.
I get